it not better to die a meaningful death than to live a meaningful life?
Hello everyone and welcome to our review of the post-apocalyptic Fallout-like Beautiful Desolation. But first, let me ask you a question. Where are you right now? Because this video is sponsored by Awesome Remote, a very cool app that allows you to fully control your PC with your phone, no matter where you are. It is completely free to download and available for Windows, iOS and Android devices. Of course, it can be also used to control a computer with another computer, or a mobile device with another mobile device. Here, for example, I am playing my heavily modded Skyrim remotely at work.
Don't tell my boss.
And I have to say, Awesome works really great. There are a couple of control layout presets you can choose from, but it is also completely customizable. For Skyrim, for example, the Y key for shouts was missing, so I just opened the edit menu and added the Y key myself. And here we go! Of course, you can also just control your PC with the virtual mouse and keyboard and get stuff done, access and even transfer files. By the way, Awesome supports gameplay up to 144 FPS. The overall prices are very well acceptable and you can even save up to 40%. They even offer a smart plug that allows you to remotely wake up your PC with your phone. And here comes the best part. The first 200 people to download this app using this code here will get a free 7-day trial. Download Awesome now and have fun remote gaming. So let me ask you another question. Are you a fan of old school Fallout games before they went 3D, or a fan of classic isometric CRPGs in general? Because this game is exactly all that. Its full name is actually Beautiful Desolation, post-apocalyptic isometric adventure. The gameplay, art style and world building is suspiciously close to old Fallout games, down to the way conversations with NPCs look like.
I wish you had called to let me know you were coming. I would have cleaned up a bit.
And the storyline itself? Well, it maybe doesn't start in an underground vault, it is more like what they did in Fallout 4. It starts in South Africa, where you get a short time before everything goes down to hell. The main character, Mark Leslie, and his wife Charlize drive his brother Don home, who has a serious drinking problem and apparently did something bad again. What you will instantly notice is that while the interface looks like an older Fallout games, your character actually does have a voice here.
No, it's always, let's talk tomorrow. We can't help him if he doesn't want help.
He needs our compassion and support. He'll be safer with us.
Well, all that is really not important, because we are already 2 minutes into the game, and that means it's about time for the apocalypse to happen. Although the apocalypse here in this game is kinda a reversed one, you could say.
Mark, there's something in the sky! What the fuck?!
If you did not notice it, she was talking about that tiny triangle in the sky. Yes, the apocalypse is pretty subtle, and as already said, it's actually kinda a positive thing here. That triangular-shaped object is called the Penrose, an immensely advanced technological object that came from God knows where. And this very object has, in the 10 years time skip that happened after the opening sequence, literally catapulted humankind's technology decades into the future and shaped the world into this Fallouty state where we are still kinda in the 80s, but have talking robots and spaceships and other cool shit.
Hunger and disease eradicated, energy mastered, and mortality conquered.
So the main character, driven by the ambition to learn the truth about the Penrose, because he is a journalist, and because he believes the government is lying to us, and without a doubt also driven by grief, because his wife actually died in that crash 10 years ago, so he comes to his brother, who is now a chopper pilot. Looks like he managed to get his alcohol problem under control, and together they fly up to that Penrose thing. I guess the government doesn't really value that super advanced artifact that much after all, since they decided to completely evacuate it because of a storm. But that aside, the game actually has a lot of nice looking rendered cutscenes. The 2D backgrounds look very well done as well. There are a lot of animated moving objects, and they also have visual nice effects. The main character and also the followers you get later on are also very talkative and behave like real human beings, or robots, and will comment on everything.
There it is, the probe. I knew it. Don loves his arcade games. Don, I told you. I knew they were lying to us.
The sound design is however what actually sticks out the most. Even the sound of just opening the main menu will give you goosebumps, similar to the good old PlayStation 1 boot-up screen. As for the gameplay, wow, it really feels like a trip to the good old CRPG days, because this game does not hold your hand even in the slightest. Here is a little example. You can run around in circles for all eternity around the Penrose, trying to figure out where to get the code for this terminal here. But what you actually have to do is check the items in your inventory, combine that scan module thingy with the power cell you picked up earlier. At least the game does not advance if you don't pick it up, that would have been even funnier. Then you have to manually drag it over here to scan this locked terminal, then open your codex, go to investigation, and here there will be codes, one of which will unlock that other terminal. And this is just the beginning of the game. It's funny if you think how much self-reliance older games required compared to what we have nowadays. Anyway, after you retrieve the data you wanted, things obviously get more complicated, as the Penrose decides to be a dick and transports you to a different time or place. I mean, come on, this is obviously the future. This is not even a spoiler. This is also where you get to meet some friendly futuristic locals with a very short amount of memory RAM.
Unclean beings. The holy shrine of Darius has been desecrated.
Holy... Where are we?
The human filth dares to address us while defiling the sanctorium of Darius.
Accessing additional justice protocols.
Now the conversations in this game are quite funny and well written. That means synthetic beings actually do speak like synthetic beings, and the answers you give also lead to different responses.
If you so much as wrinkle my shirt, I will turn you to scrap.
Memory at capacity. Please defrag to free up memory. Adding execution order. Kill command is go.
This human creature does not flinch in the face of certain and excruciating death. We wonder, perhaps Neville Gorges needs more meat for her games.
The only thing kinda missing is the ability to crucially fail a conversation. I know this is just the beginning of the game, but it would be funny to see them actually respond to such a threat with something like "Your attempt to intimidate the robot failed, your fluids have been drained from your body and you suffered an excrucially painful and agonizing death. Game over." Anyway, now we finally are in a truly post-apocalyptic scenario, and the actual game can begin. Also, there is another thing about the gameplay part I should probably point out. While this game really reminds of older Fallout games, it is not really an RPG. In other words, one very important thing is missing: the combat. But I never claimed to be an RPG, I only said I'm a post-apocalyptic isometric adventure. Well, this is exactly what you are, a post-apocalyptic isometric point-and-click adventure. Yes, this game never claimed to be an RPG. This is merely something everybody instantly assumes, considering its very obvious similarities and probably also inspiration from the older Fallout games. It does not necessarily make it a bad game, quite on the contrary, the game has everything it needs to be an awesome post-apocalyptic adventure, like a deep lore, well-written characters, and fantastic-looking environments. It's just that it concentrates more on exploration, finding and combining items to solve puzzles, or engaging into deep conversations, where your choices do yield different outcomes. Yes, there are different endings too, depending on how you approach the game.
There is so much data, so much, and we need to get to work.
But the lack of all kinds of combat might throw some people off, considering that the gameplay can be confusing and frustrating at times, forcing you to do a lot of backtracking as you search for items to try and solve puzzles. As beautiful as the environments look, running in circles and seeing the same valley a dozen of times might make it lose its charm. The game is still absolutely worth checking out for Fallout fans, but action-loving veterans might find this adventure a bit too old-fashioned.